Hello, I am Mevlüt. I work at Sparta University of Applied Science. I am agricultural economics. In this lecture, I give some methods used for analyzing farm or agriculture enterprise. These some important methods that farms can use for analyzing the fields of agriculture economics. These are employed to evaluate the financial performance, efficiency, probability, and sustainability of the enterprise. One of these financial ratio analysis for farms. First of all, we must farm records. If we didn't have farm records, we didn't getting balance sheets and cash flow and the income statements. So firstly, we needed farm records, true farm records. We prepare balance sheet and income statement we found, we calculated, then we can calculate profitability ratio. In that slide, I give only two. One of them net profit margin. It means that portion of the sales that translate into net profit. Leverage ratio, I give two of them. Financial leverage ratio, it means that how much equity the business has against its debts. The other financial ratio is liquidity ratio. Also, I give two. Current ratio indicates us the current assets to short-term liabilities. A high current ratio may suggest the business capacity to meet short-term financial obligation. Quick ratio, this ratio excludes inventory to assess the ability to cover the short-term liabilities and indicates us to cover short-term liability. Indicate us to capacity to meet short-term obligation without relying on the sale of inventory. The other financial ratio is efficiency ratio. Also, I give only two. One of them, assessed turnover, show us how quickly the business sales is able to sell its assets. And one of the other ratio, growth ratio, sales growth ratio. I take one of the item, and this ratio reveals the rate of which the business sales of growing. It's growing. If more than 100, it's mean that it's we must find it can be positive or negative, depend on the situation. Our comment is different. For instance, if liquidity ratio are low, the business may face, or farm may face challenges in meeting short-term financial obligation. Low probability ratio may imply that the farm is not generating sufficient profit from its sales. And these analyses, financial ratio analysis, can assist enterprise in understanding the financial health and making improvement, which points getting improvement. Moreover, change over time are significant also, as these ratio can be demonstrate how the farm's performance evolves over time. Another analysis we can use in our article, in our project, income expense analysis. Firstly we found revenue source. We know revenue rows of farm. Product sales, government subsidies. With this item added, we found income of farms. Also, expenses category is important. We divide in the short run, divided cost, variable and fixed cost. Fixed costs vary with the level of production and seed, fertilizers, feeds, labor and fuel is some of the variable cost. Fixed cost expenses that remain constant regardless of the level of production, and land rent, equipment depreciation and insurance such as fixed costs. Overhead cost, general and administrative expenses. This category encompasses expenses related to administrative operation such as salaries or office supplies or utilities. Depreciation and amortization item is represent the allocation of the cost of long-term assets over their useful lifespan. In agriculture, this may apply to equipment, buildings, also for livestock, for cows and other capital investment. Capital expenditure are significant investments, is long-term assets that contribute to productivity and efficiency of the farms. Cash flow consolidation, it's circle to monitor the timing of both income and expenses to ensure that business maintains sufficient cash flow for day-to-day operation. Budgeting and forecasting, creating a detailed budget and financial projection allows for better management of income and expenses, as well as planning for future investment and expansion of farms. Cost efficiency measures, analyzing expenses in relation to production output, help identify opportunities for cost-saving measures. So, optimizing resource allocation and adopting efficient practice is an important item in that measures. The other we use in our article, we use another analysis, profit margin analysis. We found firstly gross profit, total production cost, and then we calculated gross profit margin, one of the item in this analysis, and show us the percentage of revenue that remain after deducting the direct cost associated with production, the goods and services. A higher gross profit margin show us the business or farm is able to retain a large portion of revenue after accounting for production cost. Operating profit margin reflects the percentage of revenue that remains after deduction both the direct of cost sold and operating expenses, and provides insight into the profitability of the core operation of the business, excluding non-operational items. Net profit margin it represents the percentage of the revenue that remained as a profit after all expenses, and includes tax and interest have been accounted for. And this ratio is a comprehensive indicator of the farm's overall productivity. Product level profit margin involves calculating profit margin for specific products or product lines. Maybe generally in farm have not only one product, not monoculture. They produce 2 or more product every year. So in this situation, This ratio helps identify which products contribute most significantly to overall productivity. Cost control measure, analyzing expenses and identifying opportunities to reduce production costs can improve profit margin. And this also may involve navigation, better pricing with suppliers, implementing cost-effective production practice, or exploring alternative source options. Pricing strategy evaluation also we analyzes, assessing the impact of pricing decision on profit margin help determine optimal price points for product or service. And price strategy evaluation includes consideration factors such as production cost, market demand, and competitive pricing. The other analysis, operational efficiency analysis, we use machinery. Also, these in farms use machinery, labor. Also, calculate these items efficiency used in crop production or livestock product production. Machinery utilization assess how efficiently farm machinery and equipment are used in production process, and involving tracking the how operation maintenance schedules and evaluating whether equipment is appropriately sized for the task. Labor productivity measure how efficiently workforce is utilized in various farm activities, and includes tracking task performance performed per unit of time, analyzing labor allocation, and considering training and skill level of workers. Crop rotation and desertification is also important item for agriculture sector, and effective crop rotation and desertification practice can contribute to improve the yield and resource utilization, and involve planning and implementing crop schemes, optimize soil health, but also nutrition use and pest management. Inventory management, efficient management of inputs like seeds, fertilizer, and pesticide ensures resources are used judiciously. It's a problem nowadays for usage. Includes maintaining accurate inventory records, monitoring usage rates, and implementing stress stocking strategies based on needs. Water is also important source. Efficient use of water resources is crucial in agriculture, particularly in regions prone to drought or water scarcity, and involves employing irrigation technology that minimize water wastage, and scheduling irrigation based on crop needs. Energy efficiency, also in that item we can found, evaluating energy consumption and finding ways to reduce it without compromising productivity is circle for sustainability. And this energy efficiency includes adopting energy efficient technology, implementing conservation practice, and considering alternative energy source. The other analysis, cash flow analysis. Cash inflow represent all source of cash entering the farm. This can be include revenue from product sales, subsidies, grants, and other form of income. Detailed record of all cash receipts need to be maintained, and they should be categorized based on their source. Cash outflows represent all payment made by the farms, including operation expenses, debt payments, capital expenditures, and any other form of expenditure. Tracking and categorizing all cash payments is essential for understanding where the money is being spent. Operating activities involve analyzing the cash flow related to the day-to-day operation of the farms. It includes receipts and payment associated with production, labor, supply, and other operation expense, and allows us for a clear view of business working capital. Investing activities pertain to the acquisition and disposal of long-term assets, such as land, machinery, and infrastructure, provides us insight into how capital is allocated for long-term growth and productivity. Financial activities involve cash flow related to debt and equity. This includes loans, repayment, equity investments, and dividend. Monitoring financing activities help evaluate the enterprise capital structure and assess its ability to meet financial obligation. Cash flow statement summarizes the cash inflow and outflow of the farms over as a specific period. The statement is typically divided into three sections: operating activity, investing activity, and financial activity. Cash flow forecasting helps in planning for periods of surplus, of shortfall, and making informed financial decisions, and involve projection anticipated inflow and outflow based on historical data, market condition, and anticipated change in operation. And also we use or analyze time series analysis. Firstly, data is important. Time series data is collected at regular intervals, such as daily, maybe, or monthly or yearly. For farms, this data can include crop yields, livestock production, sale figures, weather condition, and other relevant metrics or value. Proper data collection methods, including accurate recording and storage, are essential for conducting effective time series analysis. Generally, we use trend analysis, involve identify and understand long-term pattern or trend in the data. And these analyses help us in recognize overall growth or decline over the sustainable periods. Also, we use mean average, regression analysis, and exponential smoothing can be used, identify, and analyze. Seasonal variation refers to regular and predictable fluctuation in the data that occur within specific time periods, such as a seasonal change in crop yields or sales pattern, seasonal decomposition on time series, and seasonal adjustment techniques help in isolating and understanding seasonal pattern. And cyclical variation involve longer term, repetitive pattern in data are not tied to specific season. These cycles can span several years and are influenced by economic, environmental, or industry-wide factors. Advanced study techniques like Fourier analysis or econometric models may be employed to identify cycle trends. We use time series as a powerful tool for farm as it provides insight into historical performance, seasonal pattern, and long-term trends. Data is important, so farm recording data is very important, but generally farmers didn't record their data. It is most farmers, of course. By understanding this pattern, farmer and agriculture business owner can make informed decisions about planting schedule or resource allocation or marketing timing. Additionally, forecasting based on time series analysis aids in strategic plan planning and risk management. The other analysis, cost analysis, we divided, before I said, in the short run, we divided cost to two items, variable and fixed cost. Fixed cost expenses that remain constant regardless of the level of production, land, rent, machinery, depreciation, insurance, and salaries. Fixed labor salaries is fixed cost item, and identified and allocating fixed cost accurately is essential for understanding the total cost of operation. And we add fixed costs and variable costs. We found total cost. It provides a comprehensive view of financial outlay required for production, cost per unit of output. This metric indicates the cost incurred to produce a single unit of a specific agriculture products, cost per hectare of wheat, apple, or cost per trees of apple, or per hectare kilogram tomatoes, potatoes, or cost per head of livestock, kilogram cost, milk, cheese, maybe. It is calculated by dividing the total cost of production by the total quantity produced. Break-even analysis is also important and helps in determine the level of production at which total revenue equal the total cost. It is a circle metric for financial planning. It involves calculating the break-even point in terms of unit produced or sales revenue. Another important item is marginal cost analysis, represent the additional cost incurred to produce one additional unit of output. Calculating the marginal cost help in making decisions about increasing or decreasing production level. Economic cost and includes both explicit cost and implicit cost, providing a more comprehensive view of the true cost of production. Analyze both economic and accounting costs help in making more informed financial decisions. Cost efficiency measure, evaluating expenses in relation to production output, help identify opportunities for cost-saving measure and involve optimizing resource allocation, adopting efficient practice, and negotiating better pricing with supply. And the other one is risk analysis. Risk and also uncertainty is very high in agriculture compared to other sectors. So risk is calculated is very important for the farms. Risk, firstly, we identified risk. All potential risk may impact on agriculture farm. These risks can be categorized as financial, operational, market, environmental, or strategic. Techniques such as brainstorming, historical, maybe data analysis, and expert opinion are used to identify these risks. Risk assessment often rate on scalar form high. Risk perception are ranged based on their significance and potential consequences. Risk mitigation, after identifying and assessing risk, strategies and measures are developed to reduce the likelihood of risk occurrence or minimize its impact. Mitigation strategies can include diversification of crops or products, insurance coverage, improvement farm practice, and financial risk management. Risk monitoring and reporting, continuous monitoring of risk ensure that the enterprise is aware of changing conditions and can respond effectively. Regular reporting and key performance indicators are used to track risk exposure mitigation effort. Contingency plans are developed to outline specific action to be taken in response to identified risks if they materialize. Contingency plans include detailed steps, responsibilities, and resources required for effective response. Scenario analysis involves creating hypothetically situation to understand how different risk events may impact the enterprise financial and operational performance. Scenarios are often built based on historical data, economic forecasts, and industry trend. Stress testing involves subjecting the enterprise to extreme or adverse conditions to assess its resilience and ability to withstand severe risk. Risk transfer strategy: some risk can be transferred to external parties through insurance contract, future contract, or hedging. Identifying insurable risk and implementing appropriate risk transfer mechanism can reduce financial exposure. So the other analysis, sustainability assessment. In this analysis, we use environmental impact analysis and involve this analysis evaluating the environmental effects of agriculture practice on resources like soil, water, air quality, and biodiversity. Techniques such as soil testing, water quality monitoring, and ecological survey are used to assess environmental impact. Resource conservation focus on minimizing the depletion and degradation of natural resources, including soil fertility, water, and energy. Implementing conservation practices like no-till farming or cover cropping and water-saving irrigation techniques contributes to sustainable resource management. Crop and livestock diversity are more resilient to pest, disease, and environmental fluctuation. Evaluate diversity in crop and livestock contribute to sustainability. Recording and analyzing the variety of crops grown and livestock raised on farm is essential of this assessment. Efficient resource use is more optimizing inputs such as fertilizer, pesticides, and water to minimize waste and environmental impact. Utilizing precision agriculture technology and conducting regular audits of input use contribute to resource efficiency. Nowadays, carbon footprint is important item in the worldwide. Carbon footprint assessment assess the total greenhouse gas emission associated with agriculture operation, including emission from energy use, livestock, and soil management with specific software. Social impact analysis assess the effect of agriculture activities on local communities, including factors such as employment, community well-being, access to resource. Survey, interview, and community consulting are common methods for evaluating social impact analysis. Market access equity is also important. Assessing access to marketing and fair pricing for agriculture product is important for economic sustainability and to livelihood of farms. Market studies, price analysis, and participation in value-added initiatives are key ways to evaluate market access and equity. Economic viability focuses on assessing the financial health and probability of farm, budgeting, financial statement analysis, cash flow forecasting are common tools for evaluating economic sustainability. And market analysis, we can use market research. In market research involve gathering data and information about target market, including its size, trends, preference, and needs. Techniques such as survey, interview, focus groups, and online search are used to collect market data. Market segmentation is the process of dividing the market into distinct groups based on the characteristics such as demographics, feature, geographic location, behavior, or preference. Data analysis and consumer profiling help in identifying relevant market segments. Competitor analysis involves studying the strength, weakness, strategies, and market share of competitors operating in the same market. Research competitors' products, pricing, marketing tactics, and customer review provides insight into the competitive landscape. Demand and supply analysis, understanding through the demand for agriculture product and supply dynamics in the market is essential for pricing and promotion planning. Analysis historical data, economic forecasts, and market trends help in demand and supply assessment. SWOT analysis also evaluated the strength points, weakness in internal of farm, opportunity and threats external of farm, facing the farm within its markets, and help in strategic planning and decision making. Market trends, keeping abreast of market trends, including consumer preference, sustainability concern, and technology advancements, is crucial for staying competitive. Regularly monitoring industry publication, attending trade show, and particularly in industry network help identify emerging trends. Pricing strategy determine how products are priced to remain competitive while ensuring profitability. Cost plus pricing, value-based pricing, and competitive pricing are common approach to pricing product. Distribution channel, evaluating the most effective distribution channel to reach target customers is vital for market success. Accessing the efficiency and cost effectiveness of different distribution methods, such as direct sales, wholesale or retailer, aids in decision making. Market analysis is essential for farms as it guides decision making regarding what to produce, how to price product, and where and how to market them. By understanding market dynamics, farmers and agricultural business owners can optimize their operation, seize opportunities, and navigate challenge in a competitive market environment. These methods are critical tool for entire farms and all product branch. Farmers and agribusiness owners can make informed decisions about resource allocation, pricing strategy, and investment priorities to improve overall profitability, financial and environmental sustainability by understanding the revenue, cost, risk, and financial structure of their business and products line. Thank you for your attention.